How did a fire in Boston impact a garden in Lincoln? This is History Speaks from Historic New England. On November 9, 1872, a massive fire swept through downtown Boston, devastating the heart of the city's commercial district. Like many other businessmen of the time, Ogden Codman was profoundly affected by the blaze. Bruce Twickler directed a recent documentary about the fire.
Boston's fire was the second most destructive in the 19th century, second only to Chicago's, which was the year before. To be the second most destructive fire in the 19th century, you had to be very destructive. You had to, for example, burn out 65 acres and 775 buildings, and 10% of the wool that was in the country, in raw wool that was in the country, was in the storehouses there at the time. These enormous numbers of leather goods, wool goods, because it was a big warehousing and manufacturing center and industrial center, as well as retail and commercial and mercantile center as well.
Reeling from the loss of extensive real estate holdings in the city, Ogden and Sarah Codman hit on a plan. They would move their family to France, where the favorable exchange rate and lower cost of living would allow them to save money while still living in comfort. In 1874, the family sailed for France and took up residence in the small coastal town of Dinard. The Lincoln estate was rented out in their absence, and it would be a decade before they returned to live in the United States. When the Codmans built their Italian garden almost 3 decades later, they included a reminder of the Great Fire. Landscape historian Alan Emmett explains.
It came from a building that belonged to Ogden Codman in downtown Boston. The building was called the Exchange Building, and it was burned in the Great Boston Fire of, I think it was 1872. And so he rescued the columns and brought them out here, put them up at the far end, and with, again, more of a pergola over them, and more vines, and the fountain.
You've been listening to History Speaks from Historic New England. For more information, including how to download complete audio tours onto your iPod, visit listen.historicnewengland.org on the World Wide Web. Thanks for listening.